Alright, hello viewers and welcome to round number 2, season 3 of SWE League. We currently have 11 drivers in the lobby just now, 2 of them retired here in qualifying, so hopefully we won't have too much of a boring race, but we'll see what happens. Here in Mexico for round number 2, like I said, total of 17 turns. Cover a distance of 4.3 kilometers, so it's quite a short track, but nonetheless quite a tricky one to get right. So we're currently on board with the current championship leader, NSX Bass. Took victory last week in Bahrain after TRL Montana actually disconnected from the lobby, so he is currently the man to beat as he comes through the stadium section to complete his last lap in qualifying. Around the last corner he goes. Currently sits on the second row of the grid in third place, puts the Red Bull in provisional pole position with a 1:13.6. Behind him comes Silas across the line. They're actually pretty much the same on the same lap time. Silas just behind him, 7/1000ths of a second. Behind that Red Bull sits SSR Silas. Both of these guys on the front row of the grid. Gennaro in the Haas completing his outlap. All these guys on the hyper soft tyres. When it comes to the race, you only get about 12 laps on the hyper softs. But you can see on the timing screen on your left there, Pace Ven, he's currently on the super softs, and you will get about 18 laps out of them. But anyway, we'll talk more about tyre strategy later on in the stream. So down the pit straight we come then. Obviously one of the main overtaking spots in the race. Big long stretch road here, DRS section as well. Brake just at the 100 metre board, down into third gear with a quick shift down into second. Get the car rotated around these tight corners. Turns 1, 2 and 3 lead you down the back straight into once again a section of tight and twisty apexes. Don't cut any of these corners, but again you don't want to go too wide because, like I said, it is an extremely tight part of this. Extremely tight part of the track there, you can barely see it. And then through the S's we go, another tricky part of the track to get right. Left, right, left, and then once again that sends them down into the stadium section. Once again braking at the 100 metre board, clip the apex on the inside, don't get too happy on the throttle as you go through there, hard on the brakes, down into first gear. Again get the car rotated, and then that sends you into the last couple of corners, down into second gear, and then stomp on the throttle all the way to the line. And then Gennaro comes across, does not improve, actually does improve by a 10th, but it doesn't improve his finishing result, so he sits on the second row of the grid just now. Behind him JME Morris and the Force India, and then Villi and Melito, the two Ferrari boys, in 5th and 6th as well. So I think that's qualifying done. Nobody else has a lap to complete. SEL Hamilton, one of the new drivers on the grid, finds himself retired before the end of the session, and then also War Machine is out of qualifying. So it is SSR Silas. Did he improve his lap time? I didn't realise he was on a lap. SSR Silas takes pole position in Mexico. He actually just got the time in, I suppose. We'll see what the final results are. Wow, so he actually got 4/10ths of his time there in a last gasp. I didn't actually realise he was on a lap, but pretty impressive there from the Danish driver. Sits in the Renault on pole position, 1:13.173. Definitely not a bad time by any means. 4/10ths ahead of anyone. NSX Bass sits in second place. Behind him Gennaro and Jamie as well, and I didn't get to see who's behind him, but I think we're in for a pretty decent race. Although we don't have a lot of drivers, we do have a lot of the front runners. So Bass, Villi, White is here, Melito's there, Jamie Morris is one to watch, Gennaro as well, Pace Ven, all these guys are pretty much ones to look out for. All of them obviously going for the best result they can possibly squeeze, but we're in for a wet race, full wet conditions. I'm not sure if they're going to last the whole race, because obviously as a spectator I can't see the the weather forecast, but for the start they're going to be on the blue wall tyre full wet compound, and then as of tyre wear as well, I'm not sure what these guys will be on, but if it is full wet conditions through the whole race, I'm sure they'll just be on a simple one-stop strategy, but that is obviously if they can keep the front wing on the car. So I will get the spectator menu set up. The gap is interval, detail stops. So they're actually starting on intermediates. I would have assumed it looked like full wet conditions, but anyway, we're on intermediate conditions for the start of the race, which is even better because it makes it a little bit less stressful, especially for those back tyres. The drivers shouldn't be too bad. Obviously the setups are going to be for the dry conditions, and after a qualifying session in the dry they're going to be used to having certain braking points and turn-in points and things like that. They're going to have to be a lot more cautious on the throttle, so it's going to be a tricky start to the race. Like I said, I'm not sure if the conditions are going to stay like this, but only time will tell. So around the formation lap, I think these guys are going to have to get a little bit more speed if they're going to want to warm up the tyres. So last week NSX Bass took the top step of the podium. Like I said, TRL Montana actually disconnected after having a 20-second lead. I think it was 20 plus seconds to anyone, disconnected from the session, and then ended up down in 5th place. So Bass in the Red Bull, he currently sits with 25 points, leading the championship. Behind him, Villy in the Ferrari sits in 2nd. Without a doubt, would not count Villy out just yet. Definitely a good contender for the championship this season. Behind him in the championship standings though, Max Wheatley and the Mercedes is not here tonight, so there's a good opportunity for some of these top drivers to get some a decent point advantage on that Mercedes driver. Behind him, SX White in the Silver, and Melito. All these drivers in the session, like I said, apart from Max. So we're in for a good race, especially when it comes to championship standings. So anyway, lights out and away we go. SAL Hamilton gets a drive-through penalty for a jump start immediately, so it's not a good start to the race for him. Bass gets a decent start to the race. Ultimate comes up the inside of all these drivers. We're going to get a bird's eye view from SAL Hamilton in the McLaren. Into turn 1 we go. Bass is going to hold the middle of the track. Ultimate is not going to be fighting for positions just yet. He's going to stay cautious into turn 1. Looks like a bit of debris coming from Jamie Morris's Force India there, so I think he's got a little bit of front wing damage. Down into turn 4 we go. Gennar's going to look up the inside of Silas. He's going to think better of it though, and hangs on to 3rd place just now. So Ultimate coming out of absolutely nowhere gets 4th place. I'm not sure if he jumped to start or not, but regardless he is up to 4th place. Villy, previously mentioned, in 5th place just now. Melito behind him has dropped a place to Jamie Morris, currently sits in 6th place. So all these drivers getting away cleanly, apart from this Force India, I think it was, made a little bit of contact to someone in front of him, and we'll see if he goes into the pits end of this lap. Yellow flags behind. Dream on 6 is in the wall. I'm not sure if there was contact or if he's just spun the rear tyres a little bit too much, but I'm assuming he's going to have some front wing damage. And ahead of him, SAL Hamilton is retired from the session already on lap number 1. So through the stadium section we go then. NSX Bass hangs on to pole position, or P1 just now. Ultimate dives into the pits, I'm presuming for a drive-through penalty, so I am pretty sure he jumped to start actually. It's pretty unfortunate for him, but he's all the way down to the back of the grid now. Jamie Morris tagging onto the gearbox of Villy. Down into turn 1 we go. Where's he going to go? Down the inside. Looks like he's going to go for it. Then a little bit too late on the brakes, and there's a bit of contact between the two of them. Keep it clean, boys. By no means was it a smooth overtake by the Force India, but I think he's got the job done, although I might have spoken too soon. Villy's going to come up around the outside, and he's going to get the move done well before we even get to turn number 4. So Villy is going to keep 4th place just now, but hanging in the background is Melito. He's going to throw it a bit inside into turn 5. Jamie Morris does well to keep control of the car there actually. because without a doubt he could have been spun around very easily, but he's going to keep 5th place. And you can see there the drivers are just kind of struggling, still not used to these conditions where the braking points are going to be only on lap number 2. It's going to take them a little while for them to figure out where they should be braking, where they should be turning in, etc, etc. But into the stadium section we go for the second time. Jamie Morris and Melito both going wide through there. I'm not sure what the track limits are like in the wet, but certainly in the dry they can be pretty brutal. Sometimes even just putting one tyre over the white line, you're going to end up with at least a warning, so you need to be careful around this track. Obviously in the wet conditions it's easier said than done. Up ahead, Gennaro sitting in 2nd place is right on the gearbox of NSX Bass, and to turn 1 we go. He's going to take the better racing line, and that's going to give him a good exit onto the back straight by the looks of it. Taking care of his front wing, you can hear his engine. He's not putting the foot down where he wants to be. Through turn 4 then, Gennaro just smart enough, he doesn't want to take any risk, not this early on in the race. He's in a decent finishing position already, so he doesn't have to be doing any risky dives or anything like that. He can just sit behind Bass, and these two drivers can pull away. But as I say that, the Renault Silas actually sits on pole. He's down into 3rd place, still on the podium, and still just behind these two front runners, but 2.5 seconds on the road is the Ferrari of Villi. It's dropped back a little bit, and also J&E has obviously lost a bit of time somewhere, so you can tell all the drivers are struggling, some more than others, but consistency will become a little bit clearer as the race goes on. The track will start to evolve, there'll be more grip, and the drivers will be used to these conditions. So we'll keep an eye on the lap times, see who gets the fastest lap of the race. Just as I say that, Villi ahead gets the fastest purple lap time on lap number 3, so keep an eye on him, keep an eye on the gap to SSR Silas up ahead. So we'll just stay on board with these two front runners for now. All the drivers with about a 1 second gap now, so none of them within DRS range, but obviously in these conditions nobody is actually going to have that advantage, so it doesn't really matter. But in terms of slipstream, obviously the closer you are to the car ahead, the better, the more advantageous that's going to be. But really in the wet, it's really just all about consistency. You don't want to be going wide, you don't want to be losing time where you shouldn't be. Just keep your head in the game, stay focused, and you're pretty much guaranteed a decent finishing position. Alright, Villi's starting to make some advantages on to Silas then, making some gains. He's definitely within striking distance of the Renault ahead of him, so we'll stay on board with him for now. And there really isn't too much action going on right now, so like I said, we'll just stay with these guys for now, see if Villy can make anything of opportunity he has right now. Down the pit straight we go, obviously with Slipstream and probably a little bit of more engine power, he's going to have just about the easiest move of his life there, gets up into 3rd place. But his racing line was a little bit compromised through turn 1, so we'll see if Silas gets a better exit. Just a little bit too excited, I think. Gains himself a 3-second time penalty through there. Okay, up ahead, I took my eyes off the TV for a minute there, but up ahead, Bass and Gennaro are in a battle for 1st place. War Machine is actually just retired from the session now. I'm not sure if he crashed out or whatever, but he is out of the race. So here we are on lap number 9. Milito in the Ferrari follows closely to Jamie and Larkin in the background. Paceven in the Selbert, and then actually behind him, didn't even realise Silas just going wide into the stadium section there. But behind those three, the Renault definitely do not count him out of the race just yet. Through the last corner we go then, and on to onto lap number 10, I should say, sorry. No DRS for either any of the drivers. The slipstream is definitely well and truly in activation, if you could say. So Silas actually jumps into the pits. I'm not sure if that is for a front wing change, I don't think it was. But anyway, he's coming to the pits, and looks like he's going to find himself in 7th place on the exit. Oh, little slap of oversteer from Paceven as he comes out of turn 3. Milito Genoa and the Ferrari's going to be looking around the outside of Jamie Morris in turn 4, and he gets the move done. Looks like he's going to hold position for now. 4th place is his. Jamie's looking up the inside, gets a 3-second time penalty for corner cutting though. He's going to have to sit in 5th place for now. Paceven, can he make use of the situation that's ahead of him? Jamie Morris and Milito then both dive into the pits on lap number 11, leaving Paceven out on the track. Gives him some clean air, gives him time to get his head down and get some good lap times in, so we'll see if he comes out ahead or behind those two drivers that were previously ahead of him. Gennaro still sits closely behind the Red Bull for now. NSX Bass then dives into the pits on lap number 11, at the end of lap number 11. See if he comes out ahead or behind Gennaro, so we'll stick on board with the Haas driver for now, see what kind of lap time he can get in. I'm assuming that he's also going to come into the pits at the end of this lap, so there's an opportunity for an undercut, see if he can claim the lead of this race. Obviously Bass is going to come out of the pits on fresher tyres. Actually just realised I said undercut, she said overcut. But anyway, we'll see if he can put in a decent lap time with this clean air. Bass and the Red Bull has also actually come out with a little bit of free track ahead of him. But you can see on the dash there of Gennaro, he's not got a lot of battery left to use. So it'll be interesting to see what he can make of the opportunity. I'm sure that if he keeps driving the way he's driving, then this won't be the last chance that he has to stay in P1 where he is just now. But into the stadium section we go, down into 3rd gear. You can see that not only is it just him, but all the drivers are going to start to get a little bit more comfortable in these conditions. They'll start to figure out where their braking points are and things like that. But into the pits comes the Haas driver. Can he slow down in time for the pit lane? He can. Jamie Morris gets another 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings, so some of these drivers are going to have to slow down a little bit and watch where the track limits are. So into the pit box he comes, car goes up and car goes back down. So We're right on board with NSX Bassen around the last corner he comes. I'm going to assume that he's going to come out ahead of the Haas driver, and it looks like he is. So Gennaro is going to have to bide his time for now, save up a little bit of battery I think, and use these fresh tyres to as much of his advantage as he can. Just over a third of the way through the race I should say. Jamie Morrison into the pits. I'm pretty sure he got some front wing damage actually on lap 1, but I don't think he pitted, so maybe not. Or maybe it was just light contact. Who knows? Jamie Morrison ultimate then, going tick for tack for 8th position by the looks of it. Both these drivers just made their pit stops, so they are both on fresh sets of rubber. Bass in the Red Bull puts in the fastest lap of the race, 27.4. Some traffic up ahead, I think that's Dream on 6, Jamie's teammate in Force India. So we'll see if he is going to be gracious enough to try and hold up Ultimate and then he can let Jamie pass, but we'll see what happens. I will be surprised if he actually does that, but anyway, oh actually he might be coming into I think he will be coming into the pits at the end of this lap anyway. Is he? No, he's going to stay out. He's done 11 laps on the intermediate, so I think he might be trying to push for a one stop. I'm not entirely sure what the pit strategy is in wet conditions, but Jamie doing a little bit of weaving there, and he's going to get just about the easiest pass of his life by the looks of it. Takes 8th place from Ultimate. Is he going to dive down the inside? Doesn't look like it. Into turn 1 we go. Definitely got a warning for cutting, corner cutting there, but he's going to have to drop down into 9th place just now. Once again, Bass and Red Bull putting in a purple lap time. I'm going to ride on board with Jamie for now, bumping and bashing over the curbs. Oh, a little snap of oversteer there. Managed to control it, but I lost him some time. Looks like he got a good exit off the turn 3. And Dream16 is going to let his teammate pass by the looks of it. It's well done by him actually. He's on 13 laps. He's done 13 laps on these intermediate tyres, so not much point putting up a fight if I'm honest. It's a lot better for the team if he just lets them pass, but just as I say that, Jamie makes a mistake through turn number 6, and he's back down into 8th place. Another 3-second time penalty for Jamie. Then the pit straight we go. Jamie, what are you doing, man? Just go up the inside. Why do you need to go into the grass? There's went wide through there again.